So just went through a run showing off these relics, but let's do a build breakdown for Lux Illuminated and look at some other build options for her. First, looking at her constellations, she benefits a lot from targeting or supporting your units. This grants them spirit and impact, so this is something we will want to build around, and when we're looking at our relic options, how can we target or support more units? Then we have the prismatic barrier that gets created in hand. If you already have one, its cost gets reduced by 1. So this is also, again, another way to target your units, but this will cost mana. So this will also be something we'll be looking to build around. How can we make sure we have the mana to be able to play this, targeting our units, gaining this spirit and impact. We have Overwhelm, which is nice, but this isn't really particularly a build around, more just it benefits us from growing our units. The 6-star is really good for if you're trying to get turn 1 kills and things like that, but it's, and very strong for being able to play more spells, use combat tricks once you attack in, but this isn't strictly necessary for her kit. It will just help you close out games earlier, and it is quite strong. So let's go into the relics. We here have Fear Cleaving Axe. This is because, as mentioned from her 3-star, we get spirit and impact on any unit that we target with either supporting or with spells. And because she has, a support herself, she will always give her ally that she's supporting 2 spirit, plus she gets barrier when she supports them. Then boosting all units when she attacks, that, boost increases their stackable keywords. So this means that she will increase their spirit by 1 and their impact by 1. So this will be for all the units that you have on the board. So the more units that have spirit and impact, this boost will increase them all. So really strong with her. Other options here, certainly this is just trying to boost your whole board and make that stronger. But if you want to focus more around, targeting your units or other things, I wouldn't replace this with something. Typically, Fear Cleaving Axe is similar to like Living Weapon, but in her case, this is, not at all similar. She is actually trying to use the boost functionality, trying to get that spirit up. So if you want to do other things, I would suggest replacing that with something more like Crown Guard Inheritance. This, if we go here, this will allow you to level up. When you level up, you rally, and so you can attack it again. This will allow her to typically kill somebody in the same turn that she levels up, because you'll have already given your board a bunch of stats. When you attack in, then you can attack it again and further increase those stats. So this will be, something like especially your Luminous Sprite, if I go into that. So if you have Luminous Sprite, this thing grants all its keywords to whatever it's supporting. So when this has a ton of spirit on it, it'll pass it to the next unit for this round. But when you get that rally from the Crown Guard's Inheritance, that unit will have all those stats, and especially if you have like 2 Luminous Sprites, they can boost each other, and then you can attack it again, boost each other again. Typically they're dead by that point. So really strong. This is a key part of our kit, and you really want to get this and boost it up as soon as possible. So yeah, Crown Guard Inheritance, really good option there for keeping your board strong and being able to attack in additional times. There are other things that she already has a support, so typically, something like Corrupted Star isn't really going to help you. There are other things that can support your units, like give my supported ally elusive. This actually can be okay with her. If you don't want to, especially like if you don't have her 6-star, but you want to be able to attack in. Normally I hate this on characters. I feel like this is pretty bad, but with her in this case, you definitely want to attack in and support an ally, and keeping your luminous sprite alive, if that's your other ally you have out there, or potentially multiple. This can be really strong for pushing through damage without the enemy being able to block. So this is a great option for being able to get around needing to give your units barrier or something like that to keep them alive, since she already has barrier when she's attacking in. Let's look at other options for some of these. So this just gives her +1 starting mana, and that you draw 2-cost units. So this makes her more consistent in terms of being able to, 2 cost or less, so you can draw the 1-cost unit as well. So if you have some 1-costs in your deck, this can be really good from that side, just to grab those. If you have the +1 mana, you'll typically have 4 mana at round start, so you can toss down her plus a 1-cost unit, attack in with both those. But if you don't have Lux's Incandescent Baton, you won't have the +1 starting mana. You'll typically, depending on if you only have her 2 to 3-star and you don't have her extra mana gem, you won't be able to toss her on turn 1. So you'll have to wait to put her down. I typically would only put her down on a turn that you're actually going to attack in with her. You want to keep her alive, so on a turn when you're defending, you'll want other characters out there. But other options that are really good here, if you use like Archangel's Staff with her, getting that mana at turn start, this will help make sure that, okay, you can target units with your spells, especially like that Prismatic Barrier we were talking about, that gets generated from her 2-star every turn. This will make sure you can cast that, keep her safe, things like that. You could also use, if you do want to drop her on a defensive turn, you can use other things that give you mana, such as the Hidden Tome, or if you don't have Hidden Tome, you can always use the Lost Chapter. So this, just when you play her, you get your mana refilled. So this way you can, play her on a defensive turn, then play the barrier on her. That'll give her more spirit and stuff like that. You can defend with her. That will be quite strong as well. So that is certainly an option to make sure that you can keep your board in place, because having more units, especially if you have her 6-star, the more units you have on the board when you're attacking in, the more mana you're going to refill and be able to leverage your board that way. Let's continue here. Her spell is the Lux's Incandescence, which boosts all units. So again, this is another option. If you don't have the Fear Cleaving Axe, which boosts all units, you can use something like the Grand General's Counterplan. That's in rare. So Grand General's Counterplan, especially if you have this in combination with like Archangel's Staff. This will allow you to have another way to boost all your units consistently every turn. So when you attack in, let's say you don't have her 6-star, you don't get any mana back, but if you already have your spell mana, you can use this, use the fleeting copy of her you have in your hand, boost all your units, and increase their spirit and whatnot that way. So if you're just looking for like a strictly rare item build, this would be very strong with her. Then other things can also be good. Scout has a little bit less value with her unless you have some way of getting other units on your board Scout. So she really wants to get that barrier from supporting something, so I wouldn't typically recommend that. But you do want to be attacking in multiple times if you can, so Crown Guard Inheritance, great again for that. There are other things you can do if you, thin your deck and make sure that you're able to get Luminous Sprite. Hymn of Valor can be very good. You're typically trying to get a very strong board, having, you know, Overwhelm from her 4th star definitely makes it a lot easier to push through damage. However, if you don't have her 4th star, you can always, you know, put in something here like the Troll King's Crown, or, you know, of course, Beast Within if you have the epic one. Beast Within is very strong. These are great options. If you don't have her 4th star, I think getting her 4th star is really key, but yeah, that's always an option for you. There are also interactions. If you are doing something like this, you can use Secret Technique. This will double the value that you're getting out of the boost from her spell. So increasing their stats with this, instead they will gain twice the amount of stats. I believe that will work properly. So that's just another way. They won't get double the, what's it called? Double the impact, but they will get, you know, +2/+2 instead of +1/+1. So, I think that's most of what I would recommend with her. There isn't a lot of value in focusing on combat stat stuff. One of the things she is weak to, though, is like targeted removal. So Spell Shield is always great as a defensive option if you find that you're going into adventures where they have a lot of things that can targeted remove Lux with kill spells, other things like that. Then Banshee's Veil can be very critical for making sure she's alive, because she is a key part of your kit and making sure all your units are alive and growing with their stats. So that's it for the breakdown. Hope you enjoyed, and if you want to see a run, go ahead and check out that showcase video that I did. So I'll catch you next time.